Hello, brothers and sisters in YouTube family. Hope you guys are being blessed. Last night I felt led to watch an old film I had purchased on YouTube called The Heart of a Man. It was recommended to me by my former church ministry, and it's a powerful film on letting go of shame and embracing the Father's love, where different Christian pastors, husbands, speakers speak about their struggle to find their identity and having father wounds, and how God met them in their brokenness. The author of the book and movie Shack speaks in the film as you get insight to how the book and the movie were birthed in the midst of his deepest trial he faced in his marriage. As I watched the film, just like before, I sobbed and cried because the man that depicted Father God did such a good job, as I felt so brokenhearted about many of my brothers and sisters who are still imprisoned by shame and are not at all aware of the Father's love for us. How we run from his presence, but he runs after us, setting us free, so that we may run with him to set others free. I cried for Papa God as I felt he was crying too, because of the many lost in darkness, the many Christians that still have him all wrong, and the many prodigals who are still so far away from home. But he waits, looking out onto the road with his arms stretched open, robe in hand, ring and shoes ready to call you his own, if you just come to him. I too had deep father wounds when I surrendered my life to Jesus. I grew up having an amazing childhood with a father that was always around and showed his love very much. However, as we grew older and him and my mother grew apart, he became less emotionally available until they separated years ago. I thought that didn't affect me too much since we saw him often and on holidays. However, a deep-seated rejection entered my heart and I buried my emotions. It wasn't until 3 years ago I came face to face with these deep hurts and void when Jesus began to speak to me about marriage. So many things resurfaced, and I realized I had father wounds. I was looking for someone to fill the void. So the second year of my walk with Jesus, I told Father God that I wanted to know him, his person, and have a deep relationship with him. And I wanted him to heal me. Guys, Father God showed up in the most amazing ways to heal my soul. I would like to share with you many visions and instances he came through for me that year in the most amazing ways. I remember my first encounter was through a vision, where I found myself getting up in the mornings for prayer and everything seemed so dry. I was struggling to hear God's voice and direction for my life, as I was under so much condemnation, it seemed all the time. One morning, I went into my prayer closet to pray, with tears streaming down my face, not having any words to express to Jesus. I then saw myself as a 2-year-old toddler. I had a white dress on with black church shoes and white lacy socks sitting on Father God's lap. He had leaned in so intently, listening to every word I said, as I was just talking gibberish as a 2-year-old. I couldn't understand what I was saying, but it seemed he could understand and knew exactly what I was saying, as he kept responding, uh-huh, uh-huh, okay, uh-huh. I was amazed as I began to cry all that the more that he hears me and sees me, and I'm his daughter, as he makes himself so available to me. Another instance was when I was unable to sleep. I was having attacks often in the night, and I saw a vision where I was about 10 years old in a room, and many fire arrows were thrown my way. I was about to be engulfed in flames when Father God came running in the room, rushing towards me with his mantle and long white beard, swooping me up immediately right before the arrows hit and covered me. The fire didn't even singe his garment as he held me tenderly, and I felt so safe in his arms. Another time was in dwelling prayer where I saw him lying on my bed. I was a little girl about 12 years old, resting on my father's chest, lying on top of him. He was huge, as the width of his chest and his shoulders were wide as my bed. I was panting in fear and anxiety, but he began to have me breathe at the same pace of his breath. As his chest was going up and down, up and down, I began breathing along with the rhythm of his heart and felt so at peace. It was so beautiful as I cried. Lastly, the most supernatural experience was when I came back from a ministry event with some of my siblings. As we rolled back home, I felt so rejected, as my siblings had resentment towards me because of my relationship with Jesus. I was the odd one out, you know? and I couldn't help but feeling an acute sense of rejection as I sat in the back of the car and tears streamed down my face unbeknownst to them. I just kept saying in my heart, Papa, I need you. Papa, I need a hug. I just want a hug from you. That's what I felt I needed, just a big hug from my daddy. And did he give it to me? When we arrived home, I immediately went into my room and went into dwelling prayer to just cry it out. Oh my goodness, guys. The Lord played the most wonderful songs of healing and comfort over me, responding to exactly what I was feeling. And not only that, He showed up in my room. During worship, a bright light entered my room about 7 times, but I never opened my eyes out of holy fear. Each time this light would appear, my eyes would be closed as I was crying and raptured in pure ecstasy in His presence and love. This light would overtake me and would almost take my breath away every time. It was a warm heat, like a warm breath from heaven, that would take my breath away. I would feel like I was about to burst with love and joy, then it would die down, just to happen again 6 more times. When I opened my eyes, it was about 3 to 4 hours later, and I couldn't even stand up. I was so woozy in God's love that I had to lie down as I kept thanking Him in awe with tears, having no idea what He did to me, but knowing I had felt the tangible love of God for the first time in my life, and He had healed my soul. I had a God in heaven who was my Father, who loved me and answered me when I called. I love Papa God so much, and just like the child of the King, I want all my brothers and sisters to come and enter into my Father's house and His love. I want everyone to experience His love and to know His character and nature in this way. That's why I cried, because He was crying, longing for His children to receive His love and be unashamed any longer. After the film was over, He began to speak to me. God the Father began. Many of my children have deep father wounds, and to project those same wounds onto me. Do you know what separates me most from a soul? And I responded, Sin, Lord? No, it's shame. You see, nothing can separate you from my love. Sin caused you to feel the distance you have created keenly, rather than the grace I have provided for you in your brokenness. Shame is what caused Adam and Eve to hide and be unrepentant in confessing their sin immediately. It's shame, my dear little one, how it has imprisoned so many who feel lost and alone and utterly despondent from going forward, or better yet, turning back to me. You see, to the weak I am gentle. It is only to the haughty and proud I become a judge. But even then, I am their father. I am your father, beloved ones. Do you understand? By my thought of you, your frame came into being. I knitted you together, every detail, to the color of your hair, your height, the curvature of your nose, how you smile, to your likes and dislikes, even to your weaknesses. No, I make no mistakes, for I take imperfect bodies of dust and make them not only into masterpieces, but form a hole in each heart that only I can fill, so that they may become my children. I created you because I wanted a family. I too desire to love and be loved. I am not at all ashamed of you. I'm not ashamed of your weaknesses, your habitual sins, cycles, patterns that you keep telling me you'll get rid of one day and then come to me clean. I tell you now, come. Come just as you are, and allow me to make you clean. Allow me to grab your hand and walk with you through your pain, your heartache, your struggles, for I am there even now with you, enduring it with you, suffering with you, and not at all ashamed. I know your ending from beginning, and when I said, those I've predestined I have called you. I have justified you and will glorify you. Do you understand, my beloved ones? Before the foundation of the earth, you were the delight of my heart. Yes, I thought of you constantly. I knew what route you would take when I sent you here to the earth. I knew the battles, the sufferings, and trials you would undergo that framed your beliefs and skewed your thoughts about who you are and who I am. Yes, I knew all these things, so I'm not at all surprised at your mess ups. I'm not at all surprised at your choices. I'm not at all surprised at your secrets you hide from everyone else, and even me. I know them already, my beloved ones, and I still say to you, I love you. I am madly in love with you. When I look at you, I gasp in awe at what I've created and what you become. Like a father holding their child for the first time, a love so deep words can't describe, for I swoon over you. With every movement of your tiny hands and fingers, I hold you close to my chest to hear the cadence of your heart. That is how I see you, my beloved one. Every time you enter my presence, come boldly, my dear ones. Come boldly to the throne I sit on of mercy. And the deeper the misery, the more my mercy envelops you. I am your merciful Father, who wants to do life with you, heal you, break bread with you, removing all the lies and labels you have walked in for so long, as you strive and try to earn my love, something that is freely given and lavished on you. Come out of hiding, my beloved one. There's no need to hide anymore. My arms are wide open. I call you clean, my beloved one, my faithful one, my child of purity and strength. Yes, you are mine, and known by the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Yes, I see you. Come, be unashamed no more. Allow me to remove the shackles that have bound you. You are free, forgiven, and called by me. You are my son. You are my daughter, in whom I am well pleased. Nothing can separate you from me, my love. Nothing. For I'm relentless in my pursuit and love you. I am with you in the lowest valley and will heal your brokenness and make you whole. Only if you just come, your loving Father.
Come out of hiding, you're safe here with me. There's no need to cover what I already see. You've got your reasons, but I hold your peace. You've been on lockdown and I hold the key. 'Cause I loved you before you knew it was love, and I saw it all. Still I chose the cross, and you were the one that I was thinking of when I rose from the grave. Now rid of the shackles, my victory's yours. I tore the veil for you to come close. There's no reason to stand out of distance anymore. You're not far from home, and I'll be your lighthouse when you're lost at sea. And I will illuminate everything. No need to be frightened by intimacy. No, just throw off your fear, come running to me. Oh, 'cause I loved you before you knew it was love, and I saw it all. Still I chose the cross, and you were the one that I was thinking of when I rose from the grave. Now rid of the shackles, my victory's yours. I tore the veil for you to come close. There's no reason to stand out of distance anymore. You're not far from home. You're not far from home. Keep on coming. you run? What hindered